Dob, we're down on this fine Sunday afternoon.
Yes, it's Sunday afternoon. It's got a little bit cloudy. The sun is just behind a little bit of mist at the moment. So anyway, we have loads and loads of you are coming out in the next few weeks on holiday. Lots of flights tomorrow. So what we thought we would do for you is do the ultimate guide to do's and don'ts when you get to Sunny Beach. Things you should really do, and there are things you really need to pay attention to because you're in another country and different customs as well. So it's a little bit different here. We're actually standing in front of one of the bars here. This is Viking. There you go. There's actually people on the beanbags enjoying a cocktail and chilling out this afternoon. So it's a great place to come. So the first thing is, do come to Sunny Beach. Second thing is, get out of Sunny Beach, because up the coast, just up here, we behind the jetty there, we have Neseba, and the amazing old town. So it's only 2 lever on the bus, or you can catch a ferry boat from the end here of the jetty. So make sure you get out the resort and see a little bit around and about, because the resort is just an ordinary modern holiday resort with big hotels, bars and restaurants. It's just nice to get out and see a bit of character, something a bit old, some ruins. So here we go, it's a few pointers for you today. Now, one of the things you're really going to want to do, or a lot of people want to do when they come to Sunny Beach, is to sample the beach. So there are sections of beach with lounges and brollies. There you go, like this. Go. Now, they're all operated by different people along the beach. They've all got different prices. So you may go to this section of beach, be 9 lever for a lounger. You can go 200 yards up the beach, it may be 7 lever or 8 lever for the same thing. So when you first come, it's worth having a walk along and just seeing how much they're going to charge you to sit on their bit of sand. But between that, there are free areas where there's no loungers. It's got signs up, free zone. Take your own towel, take your own brolly. Costs you absolutely nothing to use the beach. So you don't have to pay for a lounger and a brolly, but that's going to cost you about 5 or 6 big beers for the pair of you to sit there. So you may want to rather have the beer, because the beer here is pretty good. So there you go. Well, it's all over the resort. You'll see Raffi ice cream. It's very, very tasty ice cream. There's Snickers and Bounty, well-known names, but it is sold by weight. So if you're going to buy one, ask the guy for 1 scoop if you don't want to pay too much, because otherwise they'll bung as much as they can into the cone and it works out very expensive. So 1 scoop. On the other hand, all the little shops sell ice creams, traditional ones on a stick or in a cone, out the freezer, and you know what you're going to pay. That's not a lot of money. So if you've got children, it's probably a lot easier to actually go to the shop and just buy something on a stick for a couple of leather, and you know what you're doing. But on the other hand, Susan's going to get us an ice cream because this is absolutely gorgeous. So Susan's got 1 scoop. It's salted caramel. There you go, 1 scoop, and that was 3 lev 30. Now you can imagine that if they put 2 or 3 scoops in, that's going to get to like 10 or 12 lever if you're not careful, which is like a £5 for an ice cream. So it's very nice. You can have a nice sample, but be aware of the weight. Obviously, Bulgaria is in the EU. It's part of Europe, and a lot of Brits, for instance, people are coming from outside the EU. So it is actually a legal requirement to carry ID with you at all times. You must have ID in case you get stopped by a policeman. Now, if you're out drinking and enjoying yourself, you don't want to be carrying your passport out late at night. That's not a good idea. So before you fly out, take a photocopy or 2 photocopies of your passport to keep with you in your pocket, not a problem. And then take a photograph on your phone of your passport as well as a backup. So you're well covered if you get asked. And in Bulgaria, the drinking age is 18. And the police are very strict. They do come around the clubs, etc., checking the ID of the youngsters. And if you're under 18 and you get caught drinking, it's a 170 lever fine, about £80 sterling. So it makes your evening quite expensive. So don't do it really if you're here. So if you need cash out and you're in the resort, do use a proper bank. And even on Flower Street, there are 2 banks, proper banks. This is one, the investment bank, FI Bank, and they have two cash machines on this side and another one around the corner here. So they've got 3 cash machines. They are legitimate, won't cost you a lot to use. That's great. Another bank further up is the Co-op. But there are the tourist machines that you really don't want to use unless you're absolutely desperate, because they have huge fees on them. And I'll just show you one. I know. There's one of these on almost every corner. There's hundreds of them in the resort. Euronet machines. They're very high charges. So you want to avoid these touristy machines if you possibly can. It's absolutely crazy, because here's this machine here, and there's the bank I was just talking about across the road. So you've got a machine that'll cost you nothing to a machine that's cost you loads of money within sight of each other. Just be aware of that. Do not get dragged into a restaurant by the whistler on the door, because they will try and get you in by any means to come and spend money.
For all my friends.
Yeah, this is Chris.
Tom Jones.
We have Tom Jones on tonight. Yeah, it was Elvis the other night. So when you're in Sunny Beach, there are loads and loads of tribute acts.
I will be waiting here.
Come and see a tribute act, have a beer. It's a great night out. You may want some Bulgarian leather when you're here. And the main company that runs the booths, lots of booths, is Crown. There's one here on the end of Flower Street. They're the most highly recommended and reliable booths. There are lots of booths. However, all the banks, you can go in and change money in a bank, and you will get generally a slightly better rate. But you do need to take your passport with you in a bank, where the booths you don't just hand the money over, it's very quick. And a lot of the big hotels will actually have a bureau de change in the hotel, and they are normally very reliable because they're actually run by the hotel as such. They're very trustworthy, and the big hotels, it's where you can change your money. But be aware, there are some, if you see one with a very high rate on it, just avoid it, because you won't get that, and it probably not the best thing to use it. So all over Sunny Beach there are lots and lots of taxis waiting for the tourists. They have to have a card printed in the window which gives the rate, otherwise they're illegal. But it's very important, if you're going to use a taxi, to make sure you agree the price and get a proper price before you sit in the taxi. So stand outside, how much is it mate? He'll say 30 lever. You can go to the taxi next door, it may be 20 lever. So try 2 or 3, get a price. I'm going to put a link at the bottom, the phone number for Yanni, who is used by virtually all the expats here. They use the same taxi. He's here all year, and his taxis are very, very reasonable prices. They won't rip you off, they're very, very good. So take the number down, keep it with you if you're here. If you do need a taxi, use Yanni, he's very good. Now behind me is Flower Street, the main strip. That leads down to the promenade, the front and the beach. If you're eating and drinking on Flower Street, you're going to pay a premium. Quite expensive. A big beer there in the evening may cost maybe 5 lev, 6 lever in Flower Street. Just at the road here, 5-minute walk, is the popular expat bar, which is Condor Bistro, really nice. You're going to pay 2.5 lever. A lot of the bars at the back here are 3 lever. So 3 lever as opposed to say 6 lever on Flower Street. Go down Flower Street, really enjoy it. There's loads of tribute acts, entertainment. Go and do it, but remember that you are paying a lot extra to be down there. The resort has a lot of places off the front. Great restaurants, great bars. We really enjoy being off the front, we really do. The water in Sunny Beach is in the hotels is absolutely fine to drink at the tap if you're here on holiday for a few weeks. So no need to go to the supermarket and buy big bottles of water and hump it back to your apartment or hotel. You can drink it straight from the tap. It's not going to hurt you at all. It's very safe. So I'm at the end of the main strip, the end of Flower Street, and there's the Cuban Hotel and Flower Street. These are the main bus stops in Sunny Beach. The local buses are normally number 1, number 2, take you to Nessie Bar. They're orange. It's only a couple of leather for a local trip. So when you're out and about, keep some change. You don't want to be dragging out lots of notes on a crowded bus when it's the bill's only 2 leather. So keep some change with you, don't give it all away as tips. And the other thing is, make sure you keep your ticket, because if an inspector gets on, and they have loads of inspectors, if they get on at a couple of stops along the line and you've thrown your ticket away, you're going to have to pay again. So always hang on to your ticket when you're on the bus. Now, pedestrian crossings and junctions. So easy if it's a straight road. If it's a junction with multiple roads on it, you may see a green man across the road. That does not mean there isn't moving traffic. It's a very strange system. So if you're crossing someone like this is 5 corners, just keep your wits about you and keep looking at the road as you're going across. Just keep safe. So while you're on holiday here, you're probably going to want to go out to a restaurant or order a meal. Bulgarians, when you order your meal, they have a strange thing with timing, which is if you order a starter, then a main course, you're probably going to get the starter halfway through your main course. So they're not very good at timing when the dish comes out. It's a bit haphazard, it always is. So if you want to make sure you have your starter first, order your starter, and when that arrives, then say to your waiter, I'll order my main course now. So you have them properly separated in the correct order. Otherwise you'll end up with your sides being with your dessert. It's a bit strange, but that's how it always works here in Bulgaria. They're not great at timing. Now, this is one of the nice restaurants here. Hey, Bulgarians don't eat a lot of potatoes. Unlike the British, when they come here, they love potatoes. But potatoes come in 2 or 3 forms. When you're in the restaurant and you say, like, I would like chicken and chips. Chips gets confused sometimes with the language, and you may end up with potato crisps on the side of your plate, which cold potato crisps, you don't really want potato crisps, but the chips comes out as crisps. It can also come out as like fried potato wafers, very thin slices of potato, which they will very often call chips. Not what you're trying to order. So we always say French fries or fries. If you want actual chips, the safest thing to do is say French fries. I'll have some French fries, please. Then it doesn't get confusing. If you're coming mid-June onwards, the height of the summer, do bring some mosquito repellent with you and a bit of mosquito cream, because as you get a little bit of humid, you do get the mosquitoes. And it's being aware of insects, because some of the bars will have hedges round. Avoid sitting next to a hedge. If you're right against the hedge, you'll get bitten by everything that's in the hedge. So we generally try and sit 2 or 3 metres away from a hedge in the height of summer, not against it. And a lot of restaurants and cafes like this, I mean in Condor now, Condor Bistro, you pay when you're finished drinking. So you can have 3 or 4 drinks and then they'll ask you to settle the bill. But if the waiter or waitress goes off duty, then you have to settle up at the point that they change their shift. So you're never quite sure when you're going to be asked to pay. That's how it works. The other great thing with like Condor is if you come in with a group of friends, if you come in and say these 2 are family 1, that's family 2, family 3, you can split the group, and at the end they'll give you a bill for each group, which makes paying the bill a lot easier if there's a number of you. When it comes to paying the bill in Bulgaria, when you actually pay, do not hand the money over, the cash, and say thank you. If you say thank you, that means keep the change. So if you're in a restaurant and the bill is 30 lever, and you hand them a 50 lever note and say thank you as you give it over, as you're actually handing it over, say thank you very much, thank you, that means keep it. What you should do is say nothing. When they come back with your change, then you can decide to give them a tip of however much you want to give them as a tip. So we hope that you found the little film informative and useful, and that it helps you when you actually come on your stay to Sunny Beach in glorious Bulgaria. So it's ciao ciao from the magic board, which is behind us on Flower Street, and see you again later.
Ciao ciao from me.